Thank you. Hello, everyone. Good morning, first. My name is Nenad TOMIĆ, and this is Uroš BANJEŠEVIĆ, and we're the co-founders of the Serbian game development company called Medhead Games. That being said, actually, I would like to wish you all a very warm welcome to our country and to the first casual connect that actually takes place in Serbia. Serbia is pretty young in terms of game development, and as such, it has a lot of different talents arising and showing up these days. So I wish you all that you meet some of these wonderful people and that you create some good jobs around here, and also to have fun, because that's at the end of the day why we're all here at the Casual Connect. We're going to tell you a bit today about the passion in game development and our road through this wonderful thing which we started off 2 years ago, actually 8 years ago, but 2 years ago as Medhead Games. And this is the force which has been driving us ever since and helped us create the games that we all love and hopefully you all love. Should I move somewhere from the speaker or not? Okay, so who are we? As I said, we're a Serbian game development team. We started off early on 2 years ago as a team of 5 members. We were sort of a garage band creating games, and we created our first game, which was very, very successful with the Big Fish games. It was a HOPA game, which actually enabled us to create a much bigger team, as you can see in this image. We grew significantly from 5 people to 70 people in about 2 years. And it's been a hell of a journey, and we're going to share a bit today with you what we learned on this path and how we came to be what we are today. What you can see here is actually how our games are rated with the Big Fish. We started only pursuing the quality, and this was our first thing which we actually wanted to do all the time. We were not inspired by money or something else. This is something that you will hear a lot on this conference, but we were only focused on one goal, and that's how to create the best game ever. As you can see on this top-rated games list, which is a bit bragging by our side, the first 5 games are ours, and the 7th is also ours. So out of the first 7 games on the top-rated list, the 6 belong to us, and which makes us extremely proud, and that's why we decided to come out here and share our thoughts with you.
Okay, so every time we're on Casual Connect, most of the lectures are about money. It's like the names of the lectures are like the how to earn money making HOPAs, how to earn money creating free-to-play games. And we took a different route. As Nenad said, we started off as a bunch of small young guys, and we were actually a garage band. We haven't had money, and all that we wanted was not to earn a lot of money. It was a passion about creating games, and all we wanted was to create the best video games that we can. So that's another route. That's not a route that's about money. It's a route about the passion. And if you want to use the analogy for passion, actually it's the best analogy that we could come up with was actually the romantic relationship. So we're going to be talking about our romantic relationship. It's kind of awkward because 2 guys are standing in here, but not ours, but our relationship with the game development. So the journey is long, the journey was hard, but actually it's paid off well, and we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, as every good relationship starts, it obviously starts with the start. But before that, you're engaged in a lot of mingling with a lot of things. So as in the real life where you mingle a lot around with a lot of different people trying to find the right one, so is the case with your occupation, which you want to pursue at some point. None of us were born and thought that we would be game developers, but that's what we decided to be when we actually started off doing this. And the moment you actually lay your eyes on something which you feel in your heart, which makes your heart beat faster, that's the moment when you know that you need to pursue it and be very, very passionate about it. This is what happens to us with the games, and it was a tough start. We started off with a very, very demanding game. Our first game was a 3D racing game with physics, with AI, with networking, whatever. Whatever you can imagine, we were trying to make it we were trying to put it into that game. And we were very inexperienced, very young, and it wasn't going very well. We actually finished that game, but the price was very, very high. We started off by creating a game. Actually, we set off to create a game which was supposed to bring us $200,000 in 6 months. That was a brilliant plan indeed. But we ended up with making a game which took us 3 years to develop and earned only 15K of gold, of money. And since this is not to talk about the money, this is just a little background to see how it ended up. But even though we actually experienced a very, very down thing with this game, we were very passionate about it. We knew how much we didn't know. We actually strived to learn a lot of things about this new territory which we embarked to. And this is very similar to a relationship. When you enter the relationship, the most fun part is when you actually are learning something about this other person. And this also happened to us with the game. We started to learn, we realized how much we didn't know, and then set off to create something which was bigger, hopefully, than all of us were. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is that we never fell down by the unsuccessfulness of our first game. And so we decided actually that this will be, even though this was not a successful game, right? We decided to go one step further and to take it even harder and to get practically moving in with our new occupation.
Yeah. The thing that Nenad talked about was kind of first kiss with the game development industry. So we were a bunch of kids, and what we looked for is like a one-night stand with the game development, with the girl called game development, and we ended up married to her. So we decided to take it to the next level. As Nenad said, the first game didn't go that well financially, but we actually felt that she's the one. She's the one. We want to do it entire our lives. So we're moving in together. The other chapter of our relationship was moving in. Yeah, you love her. She's so beautiful. You want to take it to the next level. So you're moving in together. We moved in to another strategy of our game. We moved into a new office. We actually tried to expand our team, and that was the first period when we had like 10 people in our studio, and it was whole new things and to get to know. What I wanted to say with this one is that no matter how much you think that you know some person, when you start living with her, you actually, many new things pop up, good things and bad things, and this is whole new chapter. No matter how we thought that we learned from the first game, there was a bunch of new things to get to know, to get familiar with. We worked in the outsourcing business, and we actually worked on like 50 different games of different genres and different aspects of the game. We created graphics for one game, we created all the programming for the other game, created music for another game, or porting. We worked on all the available platforms in that time, and it was a cool period. We learned a lot of new stuff, a lot of good and bad things happen, and the rest of it will be Nenad's story.
Well, as it always happens in some sort of relationships, in any sort of relationships, from time to time you get fatigue. You get bored of something which is always repeating, and that's actually exactly the same thing which happened to us. We were doing so many different games. We actually completed about 50 different games in 3 years' time. They were not completely full games, but we did like outsourcing on only graphics, programming, porting, so different sort of things. But we started to feel that something is missing. We actually got into this work, this job, this occupation with passion in our hearts. And suddenly we were in some place where we wouldn't want to be. And we were making games for other people through their design, through their plans, through their approvals, which didn't appeal to us at all. And it was a terrible, terrible period. I mean, it was good because we were creating some money, finally, which is necessary for you to survive. But we're never actually feeling on the inside what you need to feel when you're approaching something to work with passion. And you ask these questions yourselves, and you need to find an answer. Will I do this forever? Will this last forever, this period of time? And it seems that all good things which are to come, they're somewhere in the future, in 6 months, in 1 year, in whatever time there is, and all the bad things are happening right now. And that's when you need to make a cut and to make some change. And that's actually what happened. We decided that we do want to do this, even though it's not very, very good for us, the outsourcing business, but that we need to change somehow our relationship and to bring it to the next level.
So you're on your own once again. With all the ups and downs that you had in your relationship, you find out that you love her. You really love her, and you don't know what to do next. So there are many downs, and you're thinking, should I break up and destroy everything that I built so far, or should I actually go and propose her? And yes, we proposed game development, and we become married, and we were happy about it. Marriage with the game development was the third chapter of our story, when we actually wanted to create our own games once again. We were good at telling stories, we had great artists in our team, and we wanted to create something that has a lot of graphics and a lot of story. And HOPA games, were hidden object puzzle adventure games, were the ones who had it all. So who's the best option to choose when you want to create HOPA games? We went to Big Fish Games, which is leading casual publisher in the world, and we actually approached them with our demo. We took a look at all the HOPAs on the market back then. We created something more stylish. We created something that's more Disney-like, and we felt that it's the best thing ever. And they will be crazy about it, and they will just pour the money into our pockets. And none of it happened, actually. They told us that that's not so appealing to their audience, and that we should stick to the games that are best selling on the market, to take a look at them and to create something similar. So again, we had an option to go with some small contract for that game that we've created, or to go with something that's completely new, to find out, to start all over again, and to create a regular HOPA that would sell better. So the passion was there. I mean, we felt that we can do it, and it was a new challenge that we wanted to accept, so we went with the regular HOPA. We downloaded the best HOPAs that were available on the market back then, and we actually tried to create something similar to that. And if it's not of the equal quality or even the better quality, we didn't want to release any game of the least quality, let's say it like that. So what we did, we approached Big Fish once again in like 3 or 4 months with the new demo. It was Rite of Passage 1, our first game, and they were crazy about it. They were like, okay, that's great. And then we entered the territory of our little children.
Well, the culmination of every marriage is, or should, or perhaps for some people not, but for us it is, it's the kids. We consider our games our children, and we put great effort into creating them. And, the more passion you actually involve in creating a game, the better the payoff is. I think that we as game developers are very blessed with the fact that we can see our children grow. Imagine some professions which don't have this opportunity to see their product live there, to see how people react to it, to see how it changes some people. We actually have this opportunity, and this is what actually is feeding us in some strange sort of way. Kids, feeding yourself, right? Yeah, and we actually created 8 games so far. All of those were top-rated games in Big Fish Game Store. They were top downloaded at some point. But we didn't stop there. The passion was driving us even further. We started creating free-to-play games, which are still in the early stage of production. And there's also one special game which we are actually presenting here at the Casual Connect. So drop by our booth, and I don't want to spoil anything here, so you can see it all there.
So, at the end, you've grown up. You're old now, you have a beautiful wife, you have a beautiful marriage, you have beautiful children, and you have a big, happy family around you. These are our people from our studio, and we love them. There they are. We love them, and they're a happy family that share our passion and that want to make our ideas get to life, and actually getting them even better than we thought it in the beginning. So what we learned on this journey was, every time you think about game development, about working in the game development, or about entering the marriage, every time you think about something that's going to be hard, it's going to be 5 times harder than you thought. But in the end, the payoff will be 5 times bigger than you thought. So it's a beautiful thing to know, and it's going to be hard, but if you have enough passion and enough faith, you're going to overcome all the problems, and you're going to have a happy family and a beautiful marriage and a beautiful children, just like we do. That's it from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Hello, everybody. And hello, guys. Nice to see you again, especially at this occasion. Right. I'm curious about one thing which actually bothers me. How important is, what's your statement about the fact that, let me just rephrase this. Given the fact that in the last 5 years, many young people in Serbia started making games and being part of Medhead games or Apex or Nodius or guys like you. So, how important is for that people to play games? Does everybody play games in general? So when they come to a game studio, they actually know what they're working on. So that's my question.
Well, it's super important that you play games. From our experience, the people who are actually best at what they do are heavy gamers in their heart, because making games is just not about creating one aspect of the game. It's like it's more a round and over thing. You need to know everything, from a little bit of painting, from a little bit of programming. So you need to be an all-around person if you want to be a good game developer, because you can never give a good feedback on something unless you understand it. And also the ideas of things which have already been seen, have been used. You will, if you're a gamer, you will not make the same mistake that you already saw at some point that someone did make. And on the other hand, all the other games can inspire you a lot. And that's also what we do. We sometimes see something which is very dear to us in another game, and we try to replicate it or even improve it in our games, and that's how we actually get the end result from time to time.
Yeah, but is that the case with you guys, for example? Are all your employees actually gamers?
Well, not all of them, but the best ones are gamers.
But the best ones are?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name is Arman. I'm an indie developer. I just moved to Belgrade a week ago.
Welcome.
So I have a question for you. I assume most of your team is Serbian. You worked here for a while, right? So which specialties in game development are well represented in Serbia, and which are not? To give you an example, I said when I lived in Kiev, there is a lot of great artists and decent engineers in Ukraine, but say game designers are hard to find, good ones, and producers are even harder to find. So the same question about this market.
So in Serbia, the problem is that you don't have official academy for game development or something like that. So every team that starts working in Serbia has to actually develop their own people. So most of our people are actually architects, or I was on the philosophy faculty, I was on the ethnology and anthropology, Nenad is in maths. So all kinds of different people. I saw psychologist over there from our studio, yeah. So all kinds of people are coming, so you have to work with them and you have to teach them how to become game developers. So in Serbia, we have a huge lack of game developers as game developers, game designers and stuff like that, but people who actually, what we found out on our journey is that people who can do one thing completely great, they can learn all the stuff and they can do everything just perfect.
Hi everyone, I'm Jovica from Toptail. I have a question. You mentioned many times that you are both and most of the company passionate gamers. Do you think that actually producing hidden object games keeps you satisfied as gamers, or maybe you're planning to extend the path in some other game genre, maybe?
Yeah, well, that is a question that we actually bumped into at one point of our development. When we started making hidden object games, we never played one in our lives. That was the very first time that we started playing them. And to be completely honest with you, we were not very happy about that at the very first moment. But then we realized that we can actually introduce a lot of things from the core games or mid-core games, which we are actually much more fond of than the casual games, and create the development much more appealing both to ourselves and to our audience. So we actually tried, and that's how we came to idea to make innovations in our games, which will kind of create new things, new mechanics in HOPA games, which will actually, as I said, appeal to us and make us feel good about what we create and give us also some sort of challenge. And that's how we manage actually to live with that. But aside from that, we're also creating a couple of new games which are not in the genre, but more about that can be found at our booth.
Thanks. Actually, I'm in the same genre. I'm actually working on hidden object games, and that's why I actually asked the question, because I find myself in the same situation, basically. So,
are you passionate?
Passionate about hidden objects? Not really. No.
Well,
to be perfectly honest,
so.
Break up.
I have something on the side. So yeah. Thanks, guys.
You said that passion is a key element of relationships and game development. And what should we do when our passion becomes weaker or even ends?
You have to develop fetishes. Yeah, well, you have to always strive to go to uncharted territory. That's what this journey is all about. Every time that we felt that our passion is lower than we expected, we actually try to learn something new, to go to the uncharted territory and start off with a new genre, with the new strategy of the company, or a completely new game. So we had a few different strategies, from creating our own AAA game to outsourcing and back to HOPAs and now to all different kinds of genres. And that with that, actually, you keep yourself interested and passionate about it. And with the new people coming, I mean, every of these people has its own story, and every time somebody new bumps into the studio, it's whole new level of fun. So yeah, it's not that hard.
Always find emotions.
Yeah.
You need to work hard on it. That's actually the trick.
That's it. Thank you, guys, for listening to us.